You're listening to Blue Please, or should I say Beep Please? Yes, apparently the smoke detector's going off in the background. Don't worry, the house is not on fire. For some reason it's going off, I have no idea why. Whatever the case, it's getting resolved. Right, anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Insidia Paragon race, which ended in Paragon winning. They downed the Lich King first in 25-man heroic mode, and congratulations to them for that. Very great, fantastic achievement, although the lack of mages in their explanation for it leaves a little bit to be desired, folks. Oh, mages do slightly less DPS. Oh, sorry that your mages aren't very good, then. Anyway, so there's a couple of issues over this that I want to cover, and none of this is the fault of Paragon. I'm going to put this out from the very start. Please do not believe that I am siding with anyone or whatever. This is about Blizzard failing not once but twice the hardcore raiding scene. So Paragon did a great job of this, and the first thing is that they used the 5% damage, health, and healing buff in order to kill the Lich King. Now, of course, some people by that were screaming, "Oh, it's not a legitimate world first, blah, 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 blah." Yeah, well, we've had that before. I remember that nonsense. Pretty much the same as using the world buff, but it makes me wonder exactly why Blizzard would have even put that function into hard modes to begin with. Doesn't that defeat the point of the exercise? Aren't the hard modes supposed to be immune to that kind of nonsense? I thought that was the point. Like, these are designed for people that are really good, so we don't have to put any of this nonsense in whatsoever, because these guys are hardcore enough to handle it, and we're not aiming these at our scrubs. We're not aiming these at the other 98%. These are for the 2%. These are for the 5%. This is who they're for. So why exactly did we put that function in there? Did you think that we're going to use it? Of course they're going to use it. Which means that the fights themselves are equivocally nerfed 5% across the board. People didn't seem to notice this. It's something of a stealth nerf. You know, people will react better to having this buff in there. Do you really think anyone's going to turn it off, especially when there's no benefit to it? No, absolutely not. They wouldn't. Hardcore raiding guilds use everything they possibly can in order to get an advantage. That is the way that it works. It's called min-maxing, ladies and gentlemen. And that is reasonable. But if you give them that option, and you give them that temptation, they're gonna take it! Obviously they're gonna take it! So, they're doing an easier version of Lich King. That doesn't mean Lich King isn't rock hard on 25-man heroic. It is! No one's taking that achievement away from them. No one is saying that Paragon didn't do good, because they did. They did incredibly well. Kudos. Kudos for that. But what they are saying is, so why did the fight get nerfed? Because that is effectively what happened. It is. That is effectively what happened there. The raid was buffed. The fight was nerfed. Same difference. I have to wonder. I have to ask why you would do that. And to me, this seems like a betrayal of what hard modes were supposed to be. I already object. You know, I already object to the concept of binary hard modes, yeah? Like, this is normal, it's really easy. This is hard, it's really hard. I'm sorry, that's nonsense. No other real game has only 2 difficulty levels, especially when they're easy, rock hard. That's absurd. That is really, really dumb. I already object to that, but I object more to then nerfing hard modes down so that the only difficulty modes you now have are really easy and slightly less harder than it was previously, but slightly harder than this. So what, you've now got easy and slightly harder normal? What are you going for here? That's what I've got to wonder. What is it that you're after? What are Blizzard trying to do? Do they even know themselves? I can't imagine. If you're gonna have a hard mode, then make it hard and don't touch it with nerfs, don't touch it with random buffing of the raid, don't declaw the content at all. Just leave it as it is. Because at the end of the day, I'll tell you what hard modes are right now, entirely optional content. They are entirely optional. And I say that simply because they come after the fact. You get to see the content. Yes, see the content. Whoopity frickin' do. Yeah, this concept of seeing the content has been abnormally terrible from the beginning. If you want to see the content, watch it on YouTube. Just to make it easy so people can take a guided tour through the hallowed halls of ICC And to the left, you will see a horrible flesh-eating abomination. Don't feed it, kids. Yeah. Oh, God. Why? I can't imagine. Here's the fact, as far as I'm concerned. 5% buff, 10% buff, any percent buff should not be available in hard modes, period. Because you're doing a disservice to hardcore guilds. Of course hardcore guilds are going to use the buff. So what you're doing, what you're saying to them, let's look at it from a different angle. Hi hardcore guilds, how are you? Yeah, you're doing great, excellent. So I heard that you guys were progressing and that you were gradually making your way towards defeating one of the hardest fights in the game. So to take a little bit of that achievement away from you, what we'd like to do is we would like to buff you across the board. Yeah, 5% health, 5% healing, 5% damage. That's what we'd like to do for you. And we'll give you the option to turn it off, but we'll give you no benefit whatsoever to do so. We'll not even give you any way of proving that you didn't have it on. No way at all. We're not even going to give you a feat of strength for it. Not even this tiny little merit badge. You're not having that either. But we're going to put it in there, and I'm sure you guys will turn it off, right? Right? We're giving you the option. No, they're not going to turn it off. That would be stupid. That would be dumb to give away an advantage like that. But it does take away from those guilds the achievement of defeating something that is really, really, really hard. Rock solid. It's a shame, honestly. And I don't know what Blizzard are doing about that. I don't understand. I understand that hard modes are a testing thing, right? There's something that they haven't done previously, and it's a new part of the raiding philosophy. It's a good part of the raiding philosophy, I like it, but it needs an awful lot of work, and I think that Blizzard need to look very carefully at where they want to go with this, because to me that seems like completely ruining the concept. Surely. Why would you do that? I don't know. I have no idea. Do they? Pfft, who knows? Now, the other issue is the fact that, of course, they were racing with Insidia. Now, Insidia moved over to Paragon's server about a week before Paragon actually got the kill. Actually, it may have been even less than that, come to think of it. Whatever the case, you want to know why? They did that because their progress was massively impeded by griefing and bad server hardware on Taran Mill. Now, Blizzard did basically nothing to stop this. For weeks and weeks and weeks, I believe it was a month or so, this happened to Insidia and indeed to all the other guilds on that server, and nothing was done, and they fell behind as a direct result of this. Now, I'm not saying that Insidia would have won. They may not have. Paragon are extremely good at what they do. Yogg plus Zero, anyone? Yeah, they're good. They know their stuff. No doubt about it. No one should ever take that achievement away from them. They are the absolute top echelon of guild. But the issue then lies, it's not much of a race if your opponent has ankle weight strapped to him, is it? Again, not Paragon's fault. Blizzard's fault. Blizzard's fault for allowing that to happen. Blizzard's fault for not transferring them off the damn server as soon as that started happening. I mean, for God's sake, they had to pay for their entire guild to move again, just to avoid a technical issue that, quite frankly, should have been resolved on Blizzard's end. It's garbage. It honestly is. And it also brings into the fore and sort of highlights the idea that if you're going to have racing for world firsts, then how can you really do that unless you have proper server equality? Makes me wonder how worthwhile it would be to have a server specifically set up for raiding. It's like, this is all that this is here for, and you have to qualify for this server by being X number of guild in the world or whatever. Of course, that's entirely impractical. No one's going to do it, and it's certainly not going to help on Blizzard's end at all. I mean, you really think they're going to do that? No. Don't be absurd. It's not going to happen. But it's an idea. Yeah. Now, it's really all I've got to say about it, honestly. What can you say other than Blizzard screwed up? They did. That's all that happened. Blizzard screwed up, end of story, and I think that both guilds, I would imagine, are quite upset about it. Obviously Insidia, because they weren't able to compete properly, and Paragon, because on more than one front there, World First was cheapened by things outside of their control. Now you might say, well, Total Biscuit, they had this buff in control. They could have turned it off. Yeah, but would you? Would you have done that? Because you can never guarantee. That's the thing. You have a gentleman's agreement with the other guilds not to use that buff? No. You don't do that because invariably, since there's no way to check and there's no way to be held accountable for it, it's going to happen. You're going to use it. Of course you're going to use it. And that's that. I don't really have anything else to say on the matter, ladies and gents. As you can tell, I haven't been all that enthused by anything that's been happening with WoW lately. So we're going to go and go into a song and go into the illusion of choice and then end the show. We'll make it a little bit short today. Sorry for that, ladies and gents. Hopefully, after our tales of beating Syndragoza into the floor and getting onto Lich King, we'll have a nice story to tell on next week's show. So send them in, folks. We've got a couple of minutes to do that, and the one that I picked today will receive a very special prize. Yes, indeed. I'll also let you guys in the archive know how you can win a mini Griffin hatchling at the end of the show. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yes. Right, ladies and gents, my name is Biscuit. You're listening to a rather shortened Blue Please here on cynicalbrit.com. Play us some music, and I shall be right back with the illusion of choice. Yes, indeed. A little bit of iced earth wouldn't go amiss, don't you think? Have some desert rain? Yes. I don't care if you don't like it, you're having it anyway. Enjoy.